You stare at your bank account again tonight, genuinely terrified, wondering exactly where every single dollar quietly disappeared this month. You never bought anything crazy, no wild vacations, no luxury bags, no reckless nights out spending money downtown carelessly either. You just lived an ordinary life. Coffee here, lunch there, one small subscription renewing quietly without you even remembering it. Somehow, those tiny, invisible cuts still drained your entire paycheck faster than any single reckless purchase ever truly possibly could. You honestly believe the fix is simple. Just earn more money, and suddenly everything will finally feel truly comfortable again. But pouring more water into a bucket full of holes never actually fills that same broken bucket up completely again. It only floods the floor around you while the bucket itself stays permanently empty, no matter how hard you try. Back in 1904, a woman named Hani Motoko first noticed this exact quiet epidemic spreading through Japanese homes. She wasn't merely studying poverty, she was studying something far stranger. People who earned enough, yet somehow still felt broke. She realized the real problem was never actually income. It was completely unconscious spending happening quietly on total silent autopilot. People weren't really poor at all. They were simply asleep, sleepwalking through their entire financial lives without noticing one thing. So she built a quiet weapon disguised as an ordinary notebook, something deceptively simple that would force people fully awake. She called it Kakeibo, meaning a household financial ledger. But honestly, it works far more like a real personal mirror. It doesn't merely track your numbers, it forces you to stare directly at your own quiet daily spending habits closely. It transforms spending from a mindless automatic reflex into something deliberate, conscious, and almost sacred in its raw, honest simplicity. Warriors once firmly believed that a man who cannot control his own resources will never control any real actual battlefield. No savings simply means no armor protecting you, and carrying real debt means fighting every single day, dragging heavy chains. Today, we're finally breaking those chains completely. No complicated apps, no messy spreadsheets, just one honest notebook and simple pen. Are you finally ready to stop quietly bleeding money without even noticing exactly where all of it keeps leaking away? Let's start with something psychologists simply call the pain of paying, because understanding this changes absolutely everything you once thought. Imagine buying a $100 pair of shoes using actual cash pulled directly out from your own worn leather wallet. You watch five $20 bills leave your hand one by one, your wallet visibly thinner and noticeably lighter afterward. That small, uncomfortable sting you feel is simply your brain quietly asking whether this specific purchase was actually worth it. This discomfort is genuinely good. It acts like a built-in filter, protecting you from careless, impulsive financial decisions daily. Now imagine that exact same purchase made instead using a credit card, tapped quickly against a small silver payment machine. One tiny beep, the shoes are acquired instantly, dopamine floods your brain, yet your wallet looks completely unchanged right afterward. You have surgically removed the pain, and by removing that pain, you also quietly removed your own natural protective filter. Behavioral economists actually call this process decoupling, separating the pure joy of buying from the real pain of ever paying. Modern technology was practically engineered around this exact decoupling. One-click checkouts, auto-renewing subscriptions hiding quietly almost everywhere silently. Companies genuinely want you sedated, swiping mindlessly in a comfortable trance while your bank account slowly and quietly disappears completely. Hani Motoko understood this exact danger over a full century before smartphones or credit cards had even truly existed yet. She taught that truly mastering money requires deliberately recoupling that pain, making the invisible completely visible again, right here, now. This is exactly why Kakeibo strictly demands actual pen and paper, forbidding both digital apps and every single spreadsheet entirely. Typing numbers quickly into a spreadsheet feels like meaningless data entry, forgettable, disconnected, completely detached from any real human emotion. Writing those same numbers by hand instead forces genuine focus, engaging your brain in ways typing simply never truly can. Every single evening, you physically write down every dollar spent, forcing your brain to fully relive each specific transaction again. You're literally forced to acknowledge every trade, every single hour worked and traded directly for that one specific purchase made. Sometimes the honest answer is yes, absolutely worth every single penny. But often the painfully honest answer is simply no. That pen becomes a sharp sword, cutting cleanly through every layer of modern, manipulative marketing fog constantly surrounding you daily. Now, let's simplify everything down using just 4 buckets, because most people fail budgeting from totally unnecessary and needless complexity. 30 different spending categories like groceries, gas, insurance, and gym memberships feel overwhelming, exhausting, like actual tedious tax accounting work. That's precisely why most people quit budgeting completely within just 3 short, exhausting, frustrating days of even quickly attempting it. Kakeibo strips everything down brutally to just 4 essential categories that genuinely matter for your own real, everyday human life. The real goal isn't tracking what you bought, it's honestly understanding why you actually bought it in the first place. Bucket 1 covers pure survival needs: rent, groceries, utilities, and medicine. Everything that keeps you alive and truly safely housed. Skip spending here, and you genuinely suffer real consequences: homelessness, hunger, and serious untreated medical problems arising quickly and painfully. Bucket 2 covers optional wants: restaurants, new clothes, drinks, and hobbies. Things that simply make everyday life feel more enjoyable. Skip these and you'll only feel bored occasionally, but you will absolutely still survive completely unharmed either way, honestly speaking. Bucket 3 covers culture, meaning books, courses, museums, and cinema. Genuine growth experiences that actually feed your curious, growing mind. This uniquely important category separates mindless entertainment distraction from meaningful intellectual growth that actually develops you as a whole person. Bucket 4 covers extra unexpected costs: car repairs, wedding gifts, and sudden medical emergencies that arrive completely without any warning. Most people carelessly mix everything together into one giant blob they simply call their lifestyle, or occasionally just plain fun. You tell yourself that you desperately need that $7 latte just to survive each brutal, exhausting early morning shift. No, you actually only need pure caffeine, and a cheap caffeine pill costs literally under one whole entire dollar today. That latte is entirely optional. Comforting, perhaps, but never genuinely, truly necessary for your actual daily physical survival, honestly speaking. Maybe your optional bucket looks massive while your culture bucket remains almost completely empty every single passing month, somehow entirely. That glaring imbalance is a mirror, showing you're constantly feeding your body while completely starving your own curious, growing mind. You're buying temporary pleasure again and again, while never actually investing anything meaningful into your own true, genuine personal growth. Once you clearly see the actual shape of your own spending, you finally gain real power to finally change it. Now let's talk about the monthly ritual. 4 simple, honest questions you must honestly ask yourself at the very start. First, exactly how much reliable, steady income do you actually have available for this specific upcoming month that lies ahead? Second, exactly how much would you genuinely, truly like to save before spending even a single cent on anything else? Third, exactly how much must you absolutely spend just covering your fixed, unavoidable, non-negotiable survival costs each month? Fourth, and most importantly, how can you meaningfully improve your own daily habits compared to last month's honest, painful mistakes? Question 2 contains the real, actual magic here, completely flipping the traditional, broken Western financial equation entirely upside down. Most people follow income minus spending equals savings, spending freely first and saving only whatever tiny scraps remain. Usually, there are no scraps left at all, savings accounts staying permanently empty despite having a decent, honest monthly income. Kakeibo flips this completely around. Income minus savings equals spending, treating your own future self exactly like a demanding landlord. You pay your own savings rent immediately first, and whatever remains afterward becomes your actual monthly spending budget for everything. This creates deliberate artificial scarcity, and real scarcity genuinely breeds real creativity you never even knew you actually possessed inside. Parkinson's law simply states that all work naturally expands to fill whatever available time you happen to give it entirely. The financial version simply states that spending naturally expands to fill whatever available money currently sits inside your own account. Give yourself 2,000 visible dollars, and you'll somehow invent brand new needs justifying spending every single last remaining cent. Hide $500 immediately into savings, leaving only $1,500 visible, and you'll magically survive perfectly fine anyway. You won't starve, you'll simply cook more often, walk occasionally instead of driving, and cancel unused, forgotten monthly subscriptions entirely. That final, honest question, how can I improve, prevents you from ever becoming a mindless, repetitive financial robot forever stuck. You review last month honestly, noticing wasted takeout spending or that unused subscription silently draining your money each single month. You don't punish yourself harshly for it, since warriors never cry uselessly over spilled milk from yesterday's already finished battles. You simply set one specific, actionable rule, like packing your own lunch every single Tuesday and Thursday, starting right now. Small, clear, completely actionable changes compound powerfully over time into a genuinely massive long-term financial transformation, eventually taking shape. Now let's discuss real debt, because ancient warriors considered debt something far deeper than just a simple financial number itself. A warrior owing money to merchants was never truly free. His sword and precious time belonged entirely to someone else. If you carry serious debt today, you're not working toward your own dreams, you're paying off your own past self. You're trapped inside an exhausting time loop, still paying for a single dinner you actually ate 3 whole years ago. Kakeibo declares total war against this quiet, modern slavery, using one simple weapon known as tactile, physical limitation itself entirely. Credit cards genuinely have no real bottom. You can keep swiping until hitting limits far exceeding your entire yearly salary. For your worst problem categories, usually food or entertainment, try the classic simple cash envelope system instead of cards entirely. Withdraw your exact monthly budgeted amount in cash and place it inside an envelope clearly labeled for that exact purpose. Pay directly from that physical envelope every single time, watching it grow visibly thinner as the whole month slowly progresses. When that envelope finally goes completely empty, spending simply stops immediately. No overdraft, no convenient excuses remaining anywhere at all. That physical, empty envelope creates a hard wall your brain genuinely respects, far more than any digital limit ever could. Now, regarding old debt you already carry, Western financial logic simply says attack your highest interest rate loan first. Always. Mathematically, that's technically correct, but Kakeibo philosophy was never really about pure math. It's simply about basic human morale entirely. Attacking your biggest mountain first means fighting silently for years while seeing barely any visible, meaningful progress at all itself. You'll get thoroughly discouraged fighting that giant, eventually quitting entirely, right back where you originally painfully started from before again. Instead, use the snowball method, listing every single debt from smallest balance completely up to your own largest balance owed. Ignore interest rates entirely, attack your smallest debt first, and completely destroy it as quickly as humanly possible today itself. The moment you fully eliminate that debt, you feel genuine victory, powerful momentum building rapidly inside yourself right here, instantly. You take that newfound energy plus your freed up cash flow and immediately attack your very next smallest remaining debt. This growing snowball effect is exactly how real wars actually get won, taking outposts first, then villages, then entire fortresses. Debt survives specifically on your hopelessness, that crushing feeling that always makes you order comfort pizza instead of paying it. The snowball method, instead, gives you genuine hope, and a hopeful, determined warrior always becomes remarkably dangerous toward real debt. Hani Motoko never invented Kakeibo hoping everyone would simply become wealthy. She wanted every single person to simply become calm. There's a specific quiet anxiety that comes purely from money, a constant background humming quietly beneath everything you do. It's there the very moment you wake up, and it's still there when you're desperately trying hard to fall asleep. Can I actually afford this? Do I truly have enough for rent? What happens if my car suddenly breaks down? That constant hum quietly eats away your creativity, patience, and joy, leaving very little genuine happiness remaining afterward each day. A mind completely filled with financial noise simply cannot fully appreciate a sunset, a conversation, or someone you truly love. Kakeibo genuinely silences that hum, and writing down numbers isn't really just boring, tedious, basic accounting work at all, really. You're actually performing something closer to an exorcism, dragging hidden financial ghosts directly onto paper where they truly belong now. Once those ghosts exist visibly on paper, they instantly become simple, solvable math instead of vague, terrifying, shapeless fear itself. That vague terror of feeling broke becomes the specific, solvable problem of having exactly a $200 deficit instead. You can absolutely fix a deficit, but you genuinely cannot fix an abstract, shapeless terror that's quietly hiding inside you. This entire practice ultimately teaches something called terasoku, the powerful concept of already knowing that you truly have enough now. Modern consumer culture constantly screams more, newer, faster, insisting that you're somehow always incomplete without the very latest available upgrade. Kakeibo quietly whispers something completely different, reminding you that, honestly, you already have more than enough right now, truly. When you finally cut mindless, optional spending, you realize something genuinely shocking about what you actually wanted all along. Truly.